The Mongol Empire is remembered as one of the most powerful and influential empires in world history. Stretching across Asia and into Europe, it became the largest land empire ever created. What makes the story of the Mongols so fascinating is not just the size of their empire, but the way they built it, the man who started it all, and the legacy it left behind. In the 12th century, the Central Asian steppe was home to many nomadic tribes who often fought one another. From this harsh land, a boy named Temujin was born in 1162. His childhood was full of struggles. His father was poisoned by rivals, and his family was left poor and vulnerable. Yet these difficulties shaped Temujin into a determined leader. He began to gather followers by showing loyalty, courage, and wisdom. Unlike other chiefs who favored only relatives, Temujin promoted people based on skill and loyalty. Slowly, he united the nomadic tribes under his leadership. In 1206, after years of battle, he was given the title Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. The Mongols were expert horsemen and archers. Their entire life revolved around the steppe, where survival depended on speed, toughness, and unity. Genghis Khan transformed these skills into military strength. His armies could travel great distances quickly, striking enemies before they had time to prepare. Their ability to fight with precision, discipline, and clever tactics shocked more settled civilizations. But Genghis Khan was not only a warrior, he was also a strategist. He introduced a system of organization in his army, breaking it into groups of tens, hundreds, and thousands. This allowed him to command huge forces effectively. He also used spies and psychological warfare, spreading fear that often made enemies surrender without a fight. Once he united the tribes, Genghis Khan turned outward. His armies moved against the Jia and Jin dynasties in northern China, conquering vast territories. He then marched west towards Central Asia, defeating the Khwarezm Empire after its ruler betrayed Mongol envoys. This campaign showed the world that Genghis Khan was not to be underestimated. By the time of his death in 1227, Genghis Khan had laid the foundation of an empire that stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea. His successors carried on his vision and expanded even further. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire was divided among his sons, but remained united under the leadership of the great Khan. His grandson Kublai Khan is one of the most famous rulers of this period. Kublai completed the conquest of China and founded the Yuan dynasty, ruling as Emperor of China. Under Mongol rule, the empire stretched across most of Asia and reached into Eastern Europe. It became the largest continuous land empire in history, covering nearly 1/4 of the world's population. Although the Mongols were known for their fierce conquests, they also created a period of relative peace and stability across Eurasia, often called the Pax Mongolica or Mongol Peace. Trade routes such as the Silk Road flourished under their protection. Merchants, travelers, and scholars moved more freely than ever before. This exchange of goods and ideas connected distant parts of the world. Paper, gunpowder, and printing spread from China, while Europe gained access to silk, spices, and knowledge from the East. Even though the Mongols were nomads, they respected different cultures and religions. They allowed freedom of worship and employed talented people from many lands in their administration. This openness helped ideas, technology, and inventions spread faster across continents. Despite its size and strength, the Mongol Empire faced difficulties. Governing such a vast territory was never easy. Communication across long distances took time, and differences in culture made unity fragile. By the 14th century, the empire began to break into smaller states known as khanates. The Ilkhanate in Persia, the Golden Horde in Russia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, and the Yuan dynasty in China each followed their own paths. Some adapted to local traditions, while others declined quickly. The Black Death, which spread through trade routes, further weakened the empire. By the 15th century, The once mighty Mongol Empire had largely disappeared, leaving behind separate kingdoms and dynasties. Though the empire collapsed, its influence never faded. The Mongols reshaped the world in lasting ways. They showed that mobility and organization could defeat even the largest settled armies. Their expansion connected Europe and Asia like never before, opening the door for global trade. They also influenced military strategy, administration, and diplomacy. Even today, the name Genghis Khan is remembered as a symbol of ambition, power, and leadership. The story of the Mongol Empire is one of resilience, conquest, and transformation. Born on the windswept steppe, the Mongols created a global empire that changed the course of history. They were warriors, empire builders, and connectors of civilizations.